Old problems in the new year. It was a bright early New Year's Eve morning on the island of Sodor, the time for resolutions. All of the engines were excited, as there was going to be a big fireworks display at midnight.
Can you believe it's almost 2011?
I certainly can't. I feel just as young as I did when I was built. Pah! I seem to remember a much younger engine getting stuck on ends. It was my original design. The fat controllers did wonders with it, and I'm in much better shape now. What shape would that be? Galloping sausage? I thought we had an understanding, rusty red scrap iron.
This started a very loud argument between the two engines that continued even after the Fat Controller had walked up. He finally had to use a guard's whistle to get their attention. Silence! I can see two engines who need to have a New Year's resolution.
What's a restitution?
A resolution is a promise that you make to someone. In this case, you make it to yourself to improve something about yourself. The Fat Controller had been telling off James and Gordon during Thomas's explanation, and now turned his attention to Henry. Henry, there's a long line of firework trucks at Barrow-in-Furness, waiting to be picked up. Despite the fact that I only ordered one, I need you to bring them all to Wellsworth for the display tonight.
Yes, sir.
The Fat Controller gave a quick glance to the big blue engine and the red one next to him as Henry puffed away. Edward, I need you to pick up some special passengers from the docks. They're needed to set off the fireworks and make sure everyone is safe.
Right away, sir.
Percy and Thomas, I need you two to go to Wellsworth and wait for Henry. When he arrives, I want you to help with the shunting of the firework trucks. Thomas and Percy peeped in agreement and set off. The Fat Controller then left Gordon and James alone in the shed to think about resolutions and being really useful. Henry had now arrived at Barrow-in-Furness, but he wasn't expected. Henry rolled over to the signal box to find out what was happening. Once there, Henry gave out a toot and waited for the signalman. They didn't have to wait long, but the reply was none too friendly.
What's your business here?
What's our business? We've come to pick up the firework trucks that Sir Topham Hatt from the North Western Railway ordered.
Wasn't there another engine to pick up that train?
There's no other engine that I know of.
Well, for now, I'll switch you into a siding. I'll contact the station master and get you back on your arrangements.
Come on, Henry, we better go into the siding like you said. This is still very strange to me, Henry.
And the Fat Controller won't be happy about it either.
Elsewhere, Edward was steaming through the countryside when he saw some firework trucks on the loop line.
Now, that shouldn't be.
He decided to puff down the track to get the trucks. An engine approached, pushing some firework trucks up behind Edward. Edward was confused, but he puffed forwards, taking the trucks with him. The weight of the coaches and the trucks was a bit too much for Edward, and he ended up stopping at Crosby, tired and out of puff. The guard jumped out of his compartment and ran into the station. A short while later, there was a ring at the bus depot.
Special? Yes. I think that Birdie will be able to do it. Alright. Bye-bye.
The depot manager then made a call to Maythwaite Station, alerting the station master to give a message to Bertie and his driver. When Bertie heard the news, he was not happy about it at all.
This is going to make me late with my rounds.
Nothing we can do.
The arrangements have already been made.
And away Bertie roared down the road to the docks. On another part of the island, Thomas and Percy were waiting at Wellsworth for Henry. Strange.
What's strange?
The weather. Driver said it was going to snow, but the sky's far too clear for snow.
Well, that's not important. Henry was supposed to be here hours ago, but did you see him anywhere?
No, but then our drivers left to find out what the matter was, and do you see them?
Perhaps they stopped off for lunch.
I doubt that. They would have come back to tell us more likely. There's a delay at the station, caused by all the passengers crowding around the station master's office. Look.
What's all that fuss about anyway?
How am I to know? Driver is still at the station.
Oh, yeah.
At the station, Gordon, James and Emily were busy taking trains in and out of the station.
Where's Donald and Douglas? They should be helping out here. And that Henry, where is he?
Emily, on the other hand, was taking it all in her stride. Or at least that was the impression she was trying to give. But if one paid really close attention, you'd see her bump the coaches just a little harder than usual. Down by the dockside, Bertie had just arrived.
Get in quickly, please.
Cranky, who was looking down on the bus, couldn't help teasing.
You should try doing some hard work, like me. Then you'll know what it's like to be tired.
Well, I'm not supposed to be here anyway. Edward ran out of puff, and I have to fill in for him.
It's always the same with engines. They're so unreliable.
Bertie didn't really think so, so he decided to say nothing and set off instead. Back on the siding, Henry was becoming impatient. How much longer do we have to wait here? Can't we go back yet? The signalman looked down at him.
Oh yeah, sorry. I forgot about you. You can go now.
And with that, Henry set off for Wellsworth. Percy and Thomas's drivers had finally returned to their engines. What took so long? The drivers explained that they had stopped for lunch, but they had both lost their wallets and couldn't pay for the meal, so the lady at the diner had them washing the plates.
Told you so.
Meanwhile, Henry had arrived at Crosby, where they saw Edward. Henry was surprised to see Edward, and even more surprised to see the firework trucks. Edward explained what had happened, and Henry agreed to push Edward back to Wellsworth. At Wellsworth that night, all the engines were waiting for Henry to arrive with the fireworks.
Where are the fireworks?
The safety official asked the Fat Controller. Henry was supposed to be bringing them by now, but nothing's been going right lately. Just then a familiar whistle was heard. It was Henry! Henry told the Fat Controller all about what had happened. How strange. I will look into it, but for now, let's enjoy the fireworks. Thomas and Percy helped to shunt the trucks into the proper sidings, and the officials set up the fireworks. Then came the countdown.
10, 9, 8, 7...
6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Happy New Year!
And with that, all of the engines enjoyed the fireworks. show them.